present to you a message of hope, peace, and understanding during these uncertain times. Now, I understand that there are many children going to sleep thinking that they might not wake up because the big bad boogeyman is going to kill them in the night. And while yes, they may be wrong, they may be stupid. That's right. They're not only wrong, they're stupid. But you know what? They are just as American as you or I. And the idea that somehow we can just show up and one day care enough about ourselves to believe that the children must be sent to jail isn't something that we can argue about. Now, I know many people are under the opinion that sending children to jail is somehow wrong. Now, let me tell you this. There is no child on this on God's green earth that doesn't deserve to go to jail. Okay? I'll say it once. I'll say it twice. Lock them up. I don't care how young they are. 2? Cell block 2. Oh, I'm sorry. Is that too out there for you? Well, look at the state of society, all right? Do you think if every kid that came out knew how to carve a shank, make pruno, spend a lot of time alone working on their inner torment, and 4, had the humility, 5, indebted to the system. Now that sounds horrible, right? Because, oh Lord, it certainly can't be good to put a bunch of little kids in jail, right? They're going to come out all traumatized. And then they're going to end up in the system. And then they're going to be screwed for life. They're just going to be, broken potential and sadness, and they're destined for a life of crime, right? Wrong. We're not sending them to regular jail. We're sending them to kid jail. That's right. Being torn from their parents into a harsh environment is not going to be fun for little Timmy and Susie. But you know what? Little Timmy, Susie, and anyone else is going to come out with a 6-pack, reading way more books. Do you know how much easier it is to read a book if you're laying alone in an empty room with nothing else to do? Think about it. How many books did you read when you were a kid? Huh? Or were you scrolling, typing, playing, talking with your friends on the phone? Maybe if you're a little more old school, I don't know how to look cool doing that. If you're a little more old school, then you're going to be pushing a hoop down a hill with a stick. And maybe you'll be throwing a ball. But let me ask you this. Short of the 0.01% of people that make a living doing any of that crap, how is that going to get your train down the track? Huh? When you're 2 years old, you should be investing in a savings account, all right? A lot of people are going to fire back with this limiting belief that 2-year-olds can't earn an honest living. And I challenge that, okay? I think at 2, they have enough motor skills to at least work as a guard dog. You're telling me that like a 2-year-old couldn't just put their little ass on like a little walkie treadmill, or maybe there are ways. Look, none of those are good ideas, but look, you could just hook them up to Brain computer interfaces in their cells, and you could be downloading copious amounts of data into their Neuralinks. Yes, we're going to chip your kids. But you know what? That chip is going to save their fucking lives. Okay? When your fucking 5-year-old son shows up as a licensed helicopter pilot, how are you going to feel? Huh? How are you going to feel when your 7-year-old daughter takes you down with a skillful jujitsu takedown? And you're going to say, what? All I had to do was put you in jail? And put a chip in your brain? And you'll become a super functional member of society? Is that it? Is that all we had to do? Abso-fucking-lutely, okay? You know these kids. They just sit there, all stupid. Just, dip, 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 dip. Bobby, can I have a juice box? Ain't no juice boxes in jail, okay? They're fed one meal of gruel, and they have to eat it and love it. And because that's all they'll ever know at 2, you're building their fucking worldview. You build it strong. Oh, you want an apple? You want apple slices for dinner? Then go wrestle that dog. I don't care if you're 2. I don't care if you're 3. I mean, a 2-year-old probably can't wrestle a dog. But maybe like a small one. There'll be corresponding levels of difficulty based on age. We're not gonna, look, this might be coming across as very harsh. And a lot of parents are probably gonna feel like, oh my word. How can you do that to a child? To a child. To a child. How could you do that to a child? They're innocent. They're pure. Okay. Let's see how babying your fucking kids works out. When they show up at 35, begging for a handout, wishing that they'd done something with their lives, like starting at age 2, work on themselves, as opposed to in their mid-40s when they're unemployed and on the streets. But the kids are going to be taken care of. Look, at a certain point, we're all going to merge with the computers, okay? Don't believe me? Sit and wait. Tell me what you think when no one's there, okay? When you go into a store and it's just robots, and that's it. And everyone else is at home in their little pods, their little work-from-home pods. Drinking their fucking slushies, that's it. They just, like WALL-E, everyone's just fucking big blobs of fucking fat. And their bones don't even work. That's the life you want for your kid? Or do you want a 7-year-old that can do a handstand takedown on a 240-pound man? Do you want a 7-year-old that barely knows how to speak because they're just addicted to playing video games, stuck in their chair, bones going to jelly? Okay, sure. Maybe that works for you. Maybe being a purposeless individual whose very existence is suffering on a deep level, both internal and external. The satisfaction felt from doing hard time at an early age is not going to be something replicatable. And look, if all kids went to jail, they wouldn't call it jail. You know what I mean? They'd call it center. Center of human development. There you go. That's as bullshitty as anything that those fucking morons are going to come up with. But boy, oh, it sounds like you're in favor of a totalitarian state. No. I am in favor of society getting its shit together. And my only faith is that computers are going to be better than humans, and that they're probably going to wipe out most of humanity. But maybe at the end of it, we'll be better off. That's what I'm thinking. Rec 709, more like Darby. Anyway, so it may sound horrible. It may be morally reprehensible to some people who think that it's not okay for children to be locked up in such a manner. Morality is not going to matter when you get your sustenance through a straw, when you're strapped to a chair because you're 700 pounds, your bones don't work, and you live your entire life on a computer. You understand that I'm not talking about putting these kids in jail for fun. I'm talking about saving the human race. Oh, you're being apocalyptic paranoid. Yeah, I am. Because it's literally the world. As James Cameron said in an interview with Arnold Schwarzenegger, the world is, because Arnold Schwarzenegger brought up the fact that, what do you see on the horizon that's positive, that's going to bring things in the right direction? Because some people talk about, they act like the world is going to end. To which James Cameron replied, Arnold, the world is coming to an end. And that about sums up our fate, okay? Due to a multitude of circumstances, mainly that everyone's getting dumber and the world's getting less habitable, at least climate-wise, we are all going to be locked indoors, complete slaves to the media. Our minds are going to be one Twitter feed, and it's going to be existential hell for all of humanity. Unless we start the super soldier program beginning at age 2. Okay, that's that.